What's going on, you bunch of heathens? Today we are checking out a video that someone actually recommended. NASA's Plutonium Problem by Real Engineering. I think I've watched a Real Engineering video before. It sounds very familiar. But this came off the back of a Kyle Hill video. And I gotta, honestly, I'm gonna check it out. It has to do with radiation shit. I love nuclear radiation, that kind of shit. I don't know why, it's just always kind of intrigued me. So here we are. The original video will be linked down below. Make sure you guys go and check it out. Yeah, let's jump in.
We have a plutonium problem. This is Dragonfly, NASA's flying rover designed to explore Titan, the icy moon of Saturn, 1.5 billion kilometers away from Earth. And it will do.
God, it's 12 seconds in, I'm pausing. It is actually insane. Like, it's incomprehensible to me how actually big and how far away some of these planets are. Like, I can't imagine how actually
powered by the final
far.
few kilograms of a nuclear fuel currently left in the United States stockpile. Tucked inside this drone, nestled between thermocouples, there is a small 4.8 kilogram chunk of a man-made isotope, plutonium-238. And the United States is running out of this vital material. And the shortage has already affected NASA missions. Like the Europa Clipper's mission to Jupiter's moon, where it will need to get by with the power provided to it with its solar panels, which will receive extremely low intensity light in the distant reaches of our solar system. Many at JPL believed Europa Clipper should have been powered by plutonium-238, but with the material in short supply, it was saved for missions like Dragonfly. This isn't good. It's quite bad, actually.
That sounds bad. But if it's man-made isotope... Oh, startup plant. I was gonna say, like, is it... Why are we unable to make more of it if this is so, like, needed for space travel and shit?
We really need more plutonium-38 to do cool science stuff. So, what are we gonna do about it?
Yeah, why can't we make more?
This hasn't always been a problem. Some positive things did come out of the world's relentless race to expand nuclear weapon arsenals during the Cold War. Like this, and even this.
I'm sorry. Oh, first off, that's a gay bomb. Let me go back.
The Cold War. Like this.
Oh, Project Stargate. I've vaguely heard of it.
And this.
Acoustic Kitty. Train cats for the use in... Oh, spying, I'm assuming.
And even this.
The gay bomb. I have heard of the gay bomb before.
Secretive processing facilities around the world in the 1950s, scientists began producing fissile plutonium-239 in vast quantities. The United States, Russia, United Kingdom, France, China, and Israel all developed nuclear weapons during this time. And in the process of refining and extracting weapons-grade plutonium, other isotopes emerged, useless for warheads and discarded as waste. Or so.
Well, to be, I almost, word vomit. I almost fucking forgot what I wanted to say originally, which was, he was talking about how certain, on how we learned a bunch from testing and developing nuclear weapons. That's actually fairly common for quite a bit of technology, actually. It's a military application first, and then it's disseminated throughout all of civilian areas a lot of the time. Like, especially US military funding actually helps a lot of just tech in general getting pushed out.
NASA saw something different. What the military considered a byproduct, they saw as an opportunity. Among the leftovers were the ingredients to make plutonium-238, an isotope unlike its bomb-making counterpart. It doesn't sustain a chain reaction, but instead, it emits a steady, reliable heat. This isotope could be harnessed as a safe lifeline for spacecraft venturing into the darkest, coldest corners of the solar system.
Yeah, basically using it as like a
The only
heater.
way to create this element is to bombard other elements with neutrons in a nuclear reactor. This isotope is differentiated from the one that leveled Nagasaki by just a single neutron. This
Is the reason why we can't make more or won't make more, like, part of, like, it could be seen as enriching uranium for nuclear, is it like a nuclear treaty or something like that, why we can't make more?
single neutron difference changes plutonium from one of the most tightly controlled substances in the world to this. This wonderful material,
Like, that's what
glows
makes
red
me,
hot,
that's just
not for
instantly where my mind
hours,
goes
not
to.
for days, not for weeks or months or years, but decades. A slow, consistent radiation of heat that halves every 88 years. And this heat can be used
so that's
to
the
generate
half-life.
electricity, but more on that later. Since its discovery as a power source, plutonium
Damn, homeboy just
238
holding
has
that
been
shit.
vital to NASA's missions. First used in the Apollo lunar surface experiments, it later powered the Voyager probes, which are
Oh, shit.
still transmitting from interstellar.
Oh shit. Oh, that fucking sucks. You know, let me write a fucking note down for that. Hold on. I managed to lose a fucking earring at some point, and I don't know where the fuck it's at. I fell asleep with them in, which means I fucking lost it. Probably in bed, which sucks.
Space. Cassini explored Saturn with its help. The Curiosity and Perseverance rovers roamed Mars with its heat. And now, Dragonfly will rely on it to explore Saturn's moon, Titan, keeping its instruments running in the extreme cold and providing the energy needed for powered flight on another planet's moon.
That is super cool.
Why are we running out of this wonderful material?
Assuming
In
some kind of treaty.
1988, with aging reactors and a nuclear weapons stockpile so large they could end the world instantly, the United States halted its production of weapons-grade plutonium. I think we can all agree this was a good thing, but
yes, it definitely
this
was.
decision has hindered deep space exploration. With the shutting down of the K reactor in the Savannah River site, the US lost its ability to produce plutonium-238, forcing NASA to ration a dwindling supply of the valuable material. This problem became even worse when in 2010, the US stopped importing the isotope from Russia. So, a decade ago, NASA and the Department of Energy restarted its complex production.
Damn, so we... Damn. We imported that shit? That doesn't seem fucking good.
But
and then we started
current production at just 550 grams per year, supply is not keeping pace with demand.
Oh. So never mind. So it isn't a treaty. We are making more. It's just we're not making enough of it.
So what is NASA doing to address this problem? There are some alternatives if plutonium refining does not increase to meet demand. The first thermal generator tested by NASA in 1959 used polonium-210 as its nuclear source. A single gram of polonium-210 generates 140 watts of power. However,
damn, that's
short
pretty cool.
half-life means its power output halves in just 138 days.
Oh, that is not nearly good enough. Yeah, that's an instant drop. It would not be worth it to use that.
The fastest ever journey to Mars took about the same time. During that time, the spacecraft would have to radiate that heat,
Oh, I thought it would have taken longer to get there. But 138 days to reach Mars is actually a lot quicker than I thought.
To space. Losing half your power before you've even arrived isn't ideal, ruling it out of most space missions. The unique demands of space exploration gave rise to 3 primary engineering requirements for a nuclear fuel suitable for spacecraft.
Okay.
The first requirement is that the fuel must last long enough to power a mission without sacrificing energy density. This means the isotope's half-life should be between 15 and 100 years. Out of nearly 2,900 radioisotopes, this criterion reduces the options to just 22.
Oh, wow. So these are all the ones.
Next, the fuel must only emit radiation that is easy to shield, ensuring the protection of both the
So not
spacecraft's
gamma.
sensitive instruments and any personnel.
Preferably alpha, but
handling
beta
it
would be
during
worth it.
preparation.
More than likely
This
not
means
gamma.
of alpha, beta, and gamma particles, we want the material to only emit alpha particles, which generate more
Yes.
heat and are easily blocked. The alpha particles emitted by plutonium-238 are essentially helium nuclei traveling at 15% the speed of light and carrying 5 mega
Damn,
electron
that's
volts
fucking
of energy.
fast.
As they collide with electrons and nuclei within the fuel, they release their energy as heat. But if emitted near the pellet's edge, the alpha particles are easily stopped by light materials. But it's not the only alpha emitter. Take curium-244. Its half-life of 18 years is a little short, but still within the acceptable range.
Yeah.
Curium-244 was initially considered as a potential substitute due to its high power density, which is 5 times greater than that of plutonium-238.
Okay,
And
what's
it has
the...
a stable high-temperature oxide fuel
Okay, what's
form,
the issue then?
but its
Is it
higher
hard to
gamma
find?
and neutron emissions resulting
Oh.
from its higher rate of spontaneous fission significantly increases the need for heavy shielding to protect both handlers
There it
and
is.
spacecraft equipment. Plus, producing curium-244 is far more difficult. The best way to create it is for plutonium-239 to capture successive neutrons and for it to decay into curium. This is expensive and impractical, so there is currently no
sounds like it.
infrastructure to produce it in the large quantities needed for space missions. Stability under extreme conditions is equally critical. The fuel has to
God, he's fucking just... I love seeing old footage of that shit, because it's just like, dude, you're just handling a nope rock.
withstand launch
You're
accidents
handling a rock that has the vibe of eat shit and die.
and atmospheric re-entry. We don't use completely pure plutonium-238 in spacecraft. Instead, they rely on plutonium oxide pellets, which are encased in iridium shells to contain the material safely.
Damn, it's really that fucking
Iridium
small?
was chosen because of its high temperature material properties, being strong and ductile even at 1000 degrees Celsius, allowing it to safely deform and contain the radioactive pellets in the event of an accident. In 1967, a plutonium generator was recovered from the Pacific Ocean after a failed launch of a weather satellite. Its plutonium-238 was reprocessed and successfully used in another mission. Similarly,
Oh, good.
during the Apollo 13 mission, the lunar module's generator sank intact to the ocean floor, where it remains safely contained, keeping some local fish warm.
We didn't... Why didn't we try to take that one? Okay, sorry, I had to look up which one Apollo 13 was. Okay,
Finally, the fuel must be cost-effective and
little
producible
interesting that we
in
didn't bring it
sufficient
back and
quantities
reuse it, but
using
okay.
existing infrastructure like nuclear reactors. Gadolinium-148 is another great option with a long half-life of 75 years with only alpha decay mechanisms. But the only way to produce it is to bombard targets with very high energy protons, requiring very expensive particle accelerators. So, to produce it in enough quantities, a much larger investment is needed. So, in short, plutonium-238
238 is just the best overall. The only issue is we're not being able to
is just
meet
a
demands
miracle
with it.
material that is perfect for space exploration. NASA has two options to tackle this supply and demand imbalance: either increase production or figure out a way to use current supplies more effectively. The current method of extracting
both?
electricity relies on the Seebeck effect. The Seebeck effect essentially allows us to generate an electric current through a heat differential. As charge carriers, both electrons and electron holes will move from hot to cold. So, if we have two semiconductors, one with charge carriers in the form of electrons and one with charge carriers in the form of holes, a potential difference between the two semiconductors will form when a heat gradient is applied. This potential difference causes a current to flow in the external circuit. These two semiconductors need to be both thermally insulating to ensure this heat gradient is maximized, but also electrically
I'm too dumb to understand what the fuck that means.
Conductive to maximize the current.
But it's okay.
These two
I got the
material
spirit.
properties
It's
are
fine.
typically linked. Copper is both a great electric and heat conductor, while iron
Yes,
is a
I
poor
do know that.
electric and heat conductor. Having a single material that is a great electric conductor and a poor heat conductor is extremely rare. For this reason, two unique materials are used for the P and N-type semiconductors: lead telluride for the N-type and an alloy commonly called tags for the P-type, which is formed from tellurium, silver, germanium, and antimony. NASA has explored more efficient ways to generate electricity with the heat plutonium-238 provides, including the use of the Stirling cycle. This cycle operates by alternating compressing and expanding a gas in a sealed system, allowing heat to be converted into mechanical energy, which then drives a generator to produce electricity.
That's
NASA
cool.
focused its efforts on developing an advanced Stirling engine, a highly efficient system designed to work in the vacuum of space and be able to survive the harsh vibrational forces of the launch. Traditional radioisotope thermoelectric generators only convert heat to electricity at an efficiency of only 6 to 7%.
Oh, that's
Stirling
horribly
engines can
inefficient.
achieve efficiencies of up to 30%.
Way
This
better.
would more than quarter the quantity of plutonium needed for these space missions. Unfortunately, in 2013, after a decade of development,
Oh no. It's just not
NASA
able to do it.
cancelled the Advanced Stirling Radioisotope Generator project due to technical issues with the piston, underestimated costs and schedules, and budget constraints. So, increasing production is the
Standard
only
shit,
option
which
left.
is unfortunate.
Production restarted in 2015, and while initial production was just 50 grams per year, to date, the production level is 550 grams, with plans to raise that to 1.5 kilograms per year. The current production entails 3 different facilities.
Well, considering what was it, Dragonfly? It was 4 kilograms. So that's what? 3. So what, like 2.5
in 3
years
different
worth of
states.
work?
During the Cold War, the Savannah River site separated and produced 400 kilograms of neptunium. Its long half-life means it's still usable as a target even to this day. All of the plutonium in the future lunar landers and the Dragonfly mission will be made from neptunium made decades ago, stored in a site in Indiana. The neptunium, as a solution, gets transferred to the
Oh, that
Oak
looks
Ridge
cool as
National
shit.
Laboratory. There, they distill the solution and precipitate the neptunium to create a metallic powder. This material is then carefully pressed into pellets and then encapsulated in aluminium to prepare it for irradiation. The encapsulation ensures that neptunium remains contained during its transformation in the reactor, maintaining safety and preventing contamination. Next, the
Looks cool as
encapsulated
shit.
neptunium is placed inside a nuclear reactor, where it undergoes irradiation. Inside the reactor, the neptunium-237 nuclei absorbs neutrons to form neptunium-238. This isotope is highly unstable and quickly decays into plutonium-238 through beta decay. The reactor's neutron flux and duration of radiation are carefully controlled to optimize the conversion rate and ensure the production of high-quality plutonium-238.
Okay. I know all this is a bunch of technical shit. That honestly, quite a bit of it is going over my head. But it is so fucking cool. So fucking cool that dude, humanity is able to just be like, yeah, we took this one rock that said fuck you, put it in another machine to make it fucking turn into something else, and then if we leave it there, it'll turn into another thing. That is so fucking cool. Like, you can't tell me humanity isn't fucking cool. Like, what? Y'all motherfuckers who figured this out, like, what shit are you on to where you're like, yes, this is like, that's so insane to me that this kind of shit can happen.
After irradiation, the targets containing plutonium-238 are removed from the reactor and processed to extract the newly formed plutonium. This involves dissolving the irradiated material in acid and using chemical techniques to separate plutonium-238 from any residual neptunium-237 and other byproducts. The extracted plutonium-238 is then purified further to meet the rigorous standards required for use in space missions. Finally, it's converted into a ceramic oxide form, which is stable and suitable for use in radioisotope power systems and sent to the Los Alamos lab in New Mexico to be formed into the final pellets and placed inside the thermal generator. In 2011, when the Department of Energy started up the process, none of these facilities were ready for large-scale operation. They needed $90 million for modifications to existing facilities. All of this is simple in theory, and the overall process has been known since the Cold War.
Most stuff right there is simple in theory. That's a lot of things, though, especially in science.
So why has it been so hard to build up the stockpile? Engineers and researchers are fighting a losing battle against unstable elements that are impossible to see. It's easy to write the diagram where neptunium simply turns into the right kind of plutonium by absorbing a neutron. But in reality, this is a statistical process. In the hot, messy, and energetic environment of the target, anything can happen. Neptunium might absorb one neutron and then split. Ideally, it absorbs a neutron and becomes neptunium-238, but once formed, this neptunium is also exposed to the same neutron bombardment. This is actually the main way neptunium-238 decays. 85% of the neptunium-238 that is created is destroyed by neutron-triggered fission. Then, in the off chance that everything goes well and the plutonium-238 starts
God, that's so complicated.
It is still being irradiated too, creating even more undesired isotopes.
Yeah, because you have to, it's all a fucking, okay, we need to make sure if this could just take it, break off. But if it does get to this, they could then break off, or it could then go to this. But then, all this, we could not know if this could all happen, like, to the point where it's like, okay, now it fucking became the shit that we don't need.
We need 85% pure plutonium-238, and trying to separate two isotopes that differ in mass by 1 or 2 neutrons is almost impossible. These interactions
super cool
are
that it's possible in general.
difficult to control. During one cycle, 1 gram of neptunium would yield just 0.5 grams of plutonium. To maximize the likelihood of plutonium-238 forming, we want to expose the target to a stream of very concentrated neutrons for a short time in cycles. In between the cycles,
yeah, because you have to make sure nothing fucks up.
Unwanted byproducts decay further. There are very few facilities capable of doing this, just 2. The high-flux isotope reactor at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory and the Advanced Test Reactor at the Idaho National Laboratory. And there is huge demand for these reactors. Nuclear physicists depend on these slots being available to study different isotopes. So the lack of places to irradiate the targets in addition to the low yield means the number game is not in our favor to build up the stockpile.
It really isn't,
where do we go from here? The production process is slow and complex. The Oak Ridge National Laboratory is on track to produce 1.5 kilograms of plutonium-238 per year. The Dragonfly mission alone.
Holy shit, y'all do. Sorry, let me go back a little bit.
The Oak Ridge National Laboratory.
These dudes are controlling a robot arm in there.
Is on track to
look at how good they're able to move this shit. Like, holy god, they are good.
The Dragonfly mission alone will need around 4.8 kilograms, taking 3 years to produce. So we desperately need to.
Oh, so it was almost 5.
Because
I was off on my
thing
earlier.
Missions that could use this incredible material if it was available. The success of the restart of US plutonium production has sparked interest in other space organizations. The ESA is well positioned to create their own manufacturing plant. France, having a large nuclear power base already, has a full facility meant to extract plutonium and uranium from spent nuclear fuels in La Hague. Looking to the near future, the possibility of using plutonium-238 for lunar missions is gaining attention. While the moon offers better conditions
God, space is so fucking cool
compared to deep space, certain lunar regions such as permanently shadowed craters at the poles require alternate power sources.
Yeah, they would.
These regions are of high scientific interest, as they may contain water ice and other valuable resources. A steady plutonium-238 supply could enable extended exploration of these areas, powering landers, rovers, and even infrastructure like communication relays or habitat systems during the long lunar nights. Ultimately, there is only one answer to this problem. Scaling up Plutonium-238 production to support both lunar and deep space missions is going to require a lot of money. And do you know what else requires a lot of money? These videos. This is the very first video I ever made. It was basically free to make. I taught myself how to animate over the course of a long weekend and made this video.
That's cool.
It's pretty crap by today's standards. You can see all the vector graphics I created getting pixelated because my settings were wrong. That's something the comment section taught me how to do. Over the course of 9 years, this...
Damn, he been going for that long? Hats off to you for getting this so fucking good with this shit.
Channel has gotten more and more popular, and I have constantly reinvested money into improving its production quality. I worked with Mike, our now head of animation, for the first time on this video, and our animations immediately got better. We hired Stephanie as a producer around 6 years ago, who worked on Real Engineering before branching out to start Real Science. We hired a full-time editor around then, along with a full-time animator for Real Science. Then COVID hit, and we hired a bunch more animators and producers and audio editors. Once we could travel again, we began hiring camera crews and spending more money on travel expenses. We have gone from making cheap 2-minute videos to making 20 to 30-minute long documentaries 3 to 4 times a month. We continue to upload the vast majority of our work for our audience to view for...
I'm gonna say it. I feel like I've watched... This might be on my list, because I do love the F-14. I do want to check this out. What makes it unsafe? Because, yeah. I feel like I've watched this. F-117 would be another cool one. God, there's so many videos on here.
We want to keep it that way.
I think would be really cool.
We do get help from our audience that have the means to do so, but I'd rather give you something of value in return for your support. That's why Nebula exists. You can directly financially support this channel while getting access to new and exclusive content from not just...
Seems like a really cool... This actually... Isaac Arthur... That seems like a cool fucking thing.
Loads of your favorite creators. On Nebula, we upload
I love
extra cuts from our videos. That's what this little plus symbol means. You can go to your library page and sort by plus. And here's all of the plus content from Real Engineering and our sister channel, Real Science. Hours of additional interview segments and documentaries that didn't quite fit into the niche of engineering here on YouTube. You can also sort by originals, which are high-budget original programming funded entirely by Nebula with your support. And here, there are even more documentaries made by us that are exclusive to Nebula. Logistics of D-Day, the Battle of Britain, and Real Science's Becoming Human series. And we've plans for even more original series this year. This is what Nebula is about. And 2025 is set to be Nebula's biggest budget year ever, with even more money being funneled into original programming. So, if you want to watch all of that,
and watch my could be like an Amazing Nebula, Race type thing,
you can get 40% off the year plan at just $3 a month. And what's even cooler, if you like it and want to share it with your friends and family, once a month, subscribers can share guest passes that provide 1 week of free access to Nebula, and they don't even need to provide any payment method, because we want to build a business you want to support, not one you forget you are supporting. So, if you want to check out all the
that's actually a really cool idea, where it's like, hey, once a month, hey, you're paying for it, and you want to show something once a month for a fucking week. Send that shit. That's so cool. That's Nebula, really cool. I didn't know Nebula did that.
TV/Real Engineering, or click the link in the description to get 40% off our yearly subscription today. For
yo, I'm gonna say this is a really good fucking ad
of $3 a month.
This is a really cool ad. This is a really good ad. Really fucking good. Holy shit. I was Real Engineer. God, whoever suggests that, thank you. That was awesome. Make sure you guys go and check out the original video, because this was fucking good. Super fucking good. Make sure you check out the original. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, you make sure you guys take care of yourselves. See ya.